Thank you so much, Jules. What a pleasure it has been to be here in Amsterdam. I am Sarah Winter, and as he said, I am the Vice President of the American Academy of Cerebral Palsy and Developmental Medicine. Perhaps you all have met with or spoken to our president, who is also here, Dr. Uni Narayan, and I have big shoes to fill next year. I would like to take this opportunity to give you some updates from various activities of our academy. But first, I would like to thank this extraordinary team. I love the picture I just saw of the group. What a dynamic group. We had the chance to enjoy some of that wonderful food that Marta showed us the other evening with the organizing team as well as a couple of the keynote speakers. And I thank you for that opportunity, as does my husband. In preparation for this discussion today, I searched your website to try and understand your organization a little bit better for myself. And what I learned is that you are an organization of approximately 500 formally registered members who are passionate about the care of persons with childhood onset disability. And what I can see from this conference is there's about twice as many people who are here this week interested in that same goal. I've learned that we in the Academy of Cerebral Palsy and Developmental Medicine actually share the same strategic plan and objectives that you've laid out on your website, as well as the same mission. What I wanted to do today is to review some of these strategic objectives that we have that essentially overlay with what the European Association has, and itemize some of the activities that we're doing in each one of these objectives. Many of you have actually participated in some of these projects, so let me thank you now for the time that you have spent, because some of these activities have drawn an extraordinary amount of your volunteer time, and we're very aware it's volunteer time. And if anyone has an interest in participating in some of these strategic objectives, of course, we'd be very happy to ask you to participate. So let me take you through each one separately. Of course, we're all interested in attracting an educated and engaged global workforce that provides the optimal lifelong services for individuals with CP and other developmental disabilities. We're constantly asking ourselves, how can we do this? How can we develop our workforce? It's essential, because, sorry, we're all getting older, that we replace ourselves. And it's essential that we have innovative, very capable new generation of providers to help our kids and families. So the AACPDM has had a few initiatives that attempt to broaden our workforce, and I'm just highlighting a few, but many are interwoven with some of the other objectives as well. But a couple of things that we do is try and provide international participant scholarships, and it's different every year, but approximately 5 to 10 scholarships are provided. And then we also provide about 10 to 15 scholarships to our meeting for student participants. We also try to engage as many young people in the committees and the leadership structure of the Academy to provide that kind of mentorship and leadership opportunities that I think draws people in and then ultimately keeps people in our Academy. Now, research, obviously, is essential. We both believe in fostering research that will generate new knowledge and evidence to inform the care of persons with cerebral palsy and other childhood onset disabilities. Two of the, this is essentially one large effort, which is the development of outcome measures and common data elements for cerebral palsy. Dr. Rich Stevenson, a past president, and Dr. Eileen Fowler, who gave this talk last year, were the co-chairs of this activity. And they wanted information on the validity, reliability, and clinical utility of these outcome measures. So they gathered, and probably some of you were on these committees, and I I was thinking this effort is about 3 years. I'm probably naive about that in terms of thinking about how to do it. But in the last year now, they have finally come to fruition. And we now have a location to find these common data elements. Now, this would not be possible without the key partnership of the folks at the NINDS, or National Institute of Neurologic Disorder and Stroke, which is part of our National Institute of Health and Research funder. This is the website that you can go to find the common data elements that currently exist for cerebral palsy. It is formatted in the same way with every disorder, having the data standards, overview, history, acknowledgement, references, updates, feedbacks, and suggestions. The part I would highlight for you is, well, a couple of items. You can see down here, these common data elements are classified in terms of core elements, the highly recommended supplemental elements, then supplemental elements, or just exploratory elements. And then if you look down here and click on the bottom right-hand corner of this website, you'll see a highlighted summary of all the common data elements that have been gathered to date. And I thought I'd just give you an example of one page. There's actually 7 pages, and it's a bit overwhelming as a document, and that's just a review of the document. That's not actually the elements. But this is an example of what exists is you have, oops, excuse me, that's not what I wanted to do. You have in this particular one, which I selected as executive functioning, you'll see that there's no core elements. There were several highly recommended supplemental elements and several supplemental elements, and then an exploratory test. So that's kind of how it is. Now, of course, the point of all of this effort is to get all of us to report on similar common data elements. But the subtle thing you have to realize is that if I am going to be applying to a grant that is funded through the NINDS, I'd better pay attention to this. Some of my data elements better be in there, better be common data elements, or I probably won't get funded. Like many things, where our government agency goes, so goes our private funders. So they may also be looking for these common data elements, and I don't know how that will translate in Europe, but I'm guessing this effort will be something that your funding resources may also look to. So I think this is a really important website that you all may want to reference or write down, and the website was on that previous slide. So the other thing that the next objective is that obviously we're very interested in learning and innovation. We want to offer a variety of different ways that people can learn. And in 2016 and 2017, we are pleased to be offering these e-courses, as we've called them. They're online, self-paced, 3 to 4 week educational courses that have the opportunity to earn continuing education credits in a variety of different disciplines. And in 2016, we did these 2, the first 2 that are listed. 2017, the transition to adulthood for youth was completed. And if you look at our website now, they've just introduced another e-course on complex care, excuse me. Thank you. Complex care, that just came out. These have been extraordinarily successful, and we're going to keep trying this model. The next objective for our academy is the partnership and collaboration objective. You've heard a lot this week about various partnerships and collaborations, and I can see that the EACD is highly values this, and it's a core value to our membership as well. And obviously, that's one of the reasons I'm standing here today. I got a kind invitation from your academy as a way of collaborating with each other. But 2 additional activities are important to share at this time. And one is the relationship with the IAACD, and the other is to describe to you our efforts to engage community partners in our organization. And for those of you who attended this morning's session, you heard all about this, so this is duplicative of that information, but just wanted to share with you that there is this International Alliance of Academies of Childhood Disability that's being formed. The founding academies include our academy and your academy and the Australasian Academy, and it's really, its intent is to support development and collaboration of the academies to improve care of childhood onset disabilities worldwide. And as you heard this morning, we were wrestling with that constitution that's been years in the making, and we reviewed it yesterday, and as I think Dr. Forsberg said, it's in its final version, but not its final version. So we're excited about that. And as we speak right now, it's in the process of, the academy itself is in the process of, or excuse me, the alliance is in the process of being incorporated where our organization is, which is in the state of Wisconsin. This is a photo from those of you who attended it in Stockholm. And this is one of those photos that I love to show, and I was thinking, like 100 years from now, this will be the photo that somebody shows, maybe our grandchild shows, and said, these are the founding members of the IAACD. Wow, weren't they innovative people in the 21st century? So none of us will be able to be there to see that, but you can just envision it. And then, of course, the exciting thing is that the second annual meeting will be in Anaheim, California, and this will be where that meeting convenes for the second time, first time being in Stockholm. So that's very exciting. The second part of the collaboration activity I wanted to highlight to you, and I know Chris Morris gave an excellent talk about how to engage families, and many of you have talked about that throughout this week. This is our interpretation or our perhaps struggle and process to try and figure out how we get meaningful involvement from those we care for and care about, which is our kids with disabilities and their families. This effort is, again, years in the making, but a process started with a summit that was held in Chicago in 2016, where we got together some influential folks, parents, adults with CP, and the Academy leadership to discuss how we want to proceed with this. Goals were developed during that summit, and the focus is felt to be education, research, and advocacy. And out of that meeting came a task force, and that task force is developing the structure and guidelines for how we're going to move forward with an actual council. It is our intent, and I co-chair that with Wendy Sullivan from Atlanta, it is our intent to transition that to an actual council as a part of our academy in 2018. Now that may not sound like much, but this is a fairly substantial change in the structure and the function and the involvement in our academy. So we're basically trying to figure it out, just like you guys. So we are very interested in service delivery and quality improvement of what we do, and there's one major objective I want to talk about in this arena, and that's called the care pathways. An AACPDM care pathway is defined as a practical summary including an algorithm of evidence-informed guidelines or the best evidence for an aspect of care or services for individuals with childhood onset disabilities that will inform clinical practice. This is an example of the web page that you can find on the Academy's website. So you go to our website here, and then you're going to click on Care Pathways, and this is what's going to come up. And what's there right now, you can see underlined dystonia and CP, osteoporosis, and sialorrhea and CP are live. The intent is to develop an early detection of CP and hip surveillance when those are actively being worked on. And these are common clinical scenarios and intended for the use of somebody who isn't maybe as well versed as we are, but also maybe, we'd like to double check our clinical care guidelines as well. So this is an example of the algorithm. This is for the osteoporosis care pathway. And one of the things I like is this color coding of green being known to be effective, evidence-based known to be effective. You're not going to see a whole lot of green on our algorithms right now. We've got yellow, which is possibly or probably effective based on evidence. And then the purple is the data is inadequate at this time to know whether it's effective or not. So obviously this effort is new, and we're trying to figure out how do we use this, how do we get the word out, and is it useful for people? So there's just a couple of comments that I have given the website out, and we're testing just to see if it's user-friendly for those who aren't familiar with the care of childhood onset disability, and it hasn't been useful. So those are just a couple of comments that they, in fact, have found it useful, but we're just starting that effort. Of course, we, like you, want to have organizational excellence, which means that we're fiscally sound, that we're effectively governed, and that our organization creates value. It is my feeling that we continue to hit that mark and are proud to say that the AACP-DM is a strong and capable organization. At this time, I would like to invite all of you, and we have the distinct pleasure of inviting Dr. Nana Tatishvili to be our guest next year in Montreal. Well, not next year, oh goodness, September. I've said next year for so long that it's just stuck in my head. It's in September in Montreal, and it should be a very exciting meeting. And one of the things I challenge all the participants to do, and I found this phenomenal that when I looked at your logo for this year, that you were steps into the future, and I was asking our academy to step into the arena. And what I mean by that is that I really want to have people think about, if not me, then who? I'm not perfect, you aren't perfect, we're all vulnerable, we all have failures, but we're all trying to do our very best. And sometimes you just have to dare to put yourself out there and step into the arena, despite a crowd that may be criticizing or jeering you down or saying that's not the right way to go. If you believe and it's your passion, go ahead, do it. You might fail, but you might succeed, and I've seen a lot of successes here this week. So I'd like to challenge you to dare greatly, step into the arena, and join us in Montreal. We're going to have some wonderful presentations, epidemiology from around the world, neuroprotection. We're going to talk about neuromuscular scoliosis and take you through the history. We've got a keynote speaker talking about inclusionary education. We've got a neurologist talking about how does a neurologist perceive the diagnosis of CP. And we've got a phenomenal all-day seminar on epigenetics, as well as a keynote speaker on epigenetics, something that we all are a bit overwhelmed with, but need to understand better than we do right now. We are pleased to say that we have the largest number of submissions ever. That's a double-edged sword, because we had to turn down things that were excellent and should be presented. But there's only so much room. However, there will be quite a few posters and papers and breakfast seminars and instructional courses like you've had this week. And I think it'll be just a very good experience in the beautiful city of Montreal. So thank you so much for this wonderful week. Thank you very much, Dr. Vescher. And I leave this to the next speaker.
Thank you, Sarah, for your explanation of the AACPDM and your kind words. Well, we come now to the awards. And at first, I will ask Marjolein Ketelaar to come forward and to announce the winner of the McKeith Best Oral Award. Da 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 da.
Not yet. Make it a bit exciting, isn't it? Thank you, Gilles. It's a great honor to be here and to have the opportunity to have the award of the oral presentations. In fact, it's on behalf of a committee who worked on it very hard. It was not an easy task. Just to show a little bit of the process, for this conference, more than 500 abstracts were submitted. So that's a huge number, and we were really proud of that. So I really want to thank all people who took the effort to submit an abstract. So from these 500, they were reviewed by many reviewers, so that was a, huge process too. And in the end, at the start of this conference, we started with 10 presentations that were nominated for this award. And that was based on the earlier review process. So it took us some steps to come to this decision. During this conference, so we had the tasks to kind of review all those 10 presentations. And we had a nice group of kind of mystery guests who kind of, went in and out to the rooms and looked at the presentations. And we had a kind of sophisticated system to bring all those scores together. So that was, a really nice process. We were really surprised and happy with the quality of the presentations. So I really want to thank all presenters for sharing their findings, their knowledge, their experiences. That's part of a conference, and we were really happy with that. But in fact, there's only one who could have the award for the best presentation. So let's have a look. In the end, after more than 500 abstracts, we have the best presentation for someone very far away from here. It has been Catherine Benfer from the University of Queensland, Australia. And she had an excellent presentation on the risk factors for identifying feeding and difficulties and undernutrition in children with cerebral palsy. Congratulations very much.
Thank you very much.
Very well done.
Thank you, Marjolein. And then we proceed with the next award, the EACD Best Poster Award winner, and it will be announced by Johannes Verheijden of the Patient Association.
Thank you very much, Gilles. Right, over 300 abstracts for posters. That took a couple of bottles of wine, to be honest, to go through them. Fortunately, we didn't. Anyway, from the abstracts, 10 were nominated to get the Best Poster Award. There were 3 people on the committee, Professor Carlo Schungel, Professor Bert Steenberg, who is sitting over there, and myself. We went through the 10 nominees, we discussed them, we fought over them, we agreed, we committed ourselves, and so on. And the person that we want to award the Best Poster Award to actually is a man. Sorry about that. And when I was looking to, obviously Google is my best friend and I've got nothing to disclose. I checked up on him, and actually he made his first appearance in 2012 on YouTube, where he sang a wonderful song with our national rock heroine Anouk with a song called Sacrifice in a talent course. I assume it's his home-based town, Heer Hugo Waard. Then he sacrificed his musical career probably to become a master student of neuroscience and cognition and neuropsychology on the University of Utrecht. He's a former secretary and vice chair of the Utrecht Algemeen Student Association. His poster, because obviously that's what it's all about, was called Playful Rehabilitation. Is there a future for virtual reality within cognitive rehabilitation for children? A review. Now, why was that interesting? Because obviously there's a lot of not evidence-based theories and methods on virtual reality. This theme of this conference was Steps into the Future, and we thought his presentation was really remarkable and really very good, and his scientific content was excellent. So please welcome to the stage Mark van den Herik. If he's here at all. Mark is not here. Rick. Okay, probably he left. Jules, I'm not sure what to do then, what the procedure is in this case. We will send it to him. Is there a representative of Mike, perhaps of the research group with this poster presentation? There is not. Well, I've got something to hang over my bed then. We will make sure we'll get him to him anyway.
Okay. Thank you, Johannes. Then I come to the, finally, to the closing ceremony. Well, I've observed a dynamic audience, a lot of contact between the participants in a good atmosphere. And I think this is the most important thing for, as I stated before, the most important of an international conference is to share ideas and to exchange knowledge, and the unofficial contacts are the most valuable. Well, we have had 7 excellent keynote lectures, and I summarize the messages. Chris started with a presentation how to involve clients and parents to formulate research questions. I hope you will practice it in future. Richard Lieber updated us about the progress about muscle pathology in cerebral palsy, and we come closer to this solution and hopefully also to improve the treatment. Tim Theologis showed the long-term effect of single-event multi-level surgery and a new minimal invasive surgery with in a speed up of the rehabilitation. Andrea Guzetta presented progress in understanding early development and options for interventions. Susan Horn presented alternative models to establish scientific evidence for effectiveness of therapy. I think also very well needed. Maya van der Knaap showed the process from a clinical finding to gene localization of a disease and discovering also that this childhood disease is present in adulthood. And I think for researchers, it's very inspiring to show how a single finding after 20 years of work is a breakthrough in the knowledge. And finally, Marta Groothuis learned us that not only ABC, but DEF is very important to reduce the psychosocial distress of child and family. Well, a lot of themes are addressed in this conference, and I thank all presenters, the chairs, and participants for their contribution. For finally, you made a congress, and we offered you only the opportunity. The preparation of this kind of congresses take a lot of effort, and that means that I have to thank a lot of people who contribute to this organization. And I think the whole scientific committee worked on it, but especially Annette Dalmeijer and Annemiek Buizer as chairs did a lot of work to make this possible. So please. Okay, and also the 70 reviewers for all the abstracts, thank you for all the work you did. Well, we enjoyed also a nice social program. We had a welcome reception with special music of a street band of Amsterdam, and we had yesterday the gala dinner in the Royal Tropical Institute with nice music, and we had a social committee who organized all these things, and the person most involved is Joke Geitenbeek. Please. You have noticed the Blue Brigade who supported you in preparing your lecture and supporting you during the presentations, and all a big hand for all the Blue. But we had one volunteer who was the principal organizer of all the schemes and all the contents of the support, and that's Mike Eka. Please come forward. Okay, and we hand you a present for all the work you have done.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
And we are not finished yet. For behind this all, we had the organization of the Congress Office, the VU Medical Center Academy, with the three ladies who were always kind to support everybody, and they did a terrific job handling all requests friendly and patient, and they had a good eye for the details. So please, I ask you to come forward. Ingrid, Crystal, and Vumc. Okay. Well, and we have a small present for you.
That's nice. Thanks. Dank je wel. Een hele leuke samenwerking. Dank je wel. Dank je wel. Ja. Dank je wel.
Okay. Well, I hope you have enjoyed the conference, and I hope that you have some time to spend in Amsterdam. And now I give the president of the EACD, Giovanni Sioni, the last word of this conference.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Although I have a small complaint, did you notice that Jules didn't ask any help during the ceremony of thanking and kissing all these beautiful ladies? He kept all for himself, huh? Okay. No, that is not this one. That is not this one. No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I will leave the floor immediately to her. It was a reordering. Yes, there's going to be very short Chairman final address. Many things about the meeting has been said and reviewed and mentioned by Jules. I want just to devote a couple of minutes to remind the people what is the state now of EACD. I mean, we have a landmark now. At the end of this beautiful annual meeting, we are moving toward the next one, and you will hear some information later on about the next meeting. But let me just say a few words about the EACD in itself. First of all, I have bad news for you, for who was not in the AGM. I've been renovated as chairman of the EACD for 3 more years. Although we have also decided that we will try to promote renovation also in the chairing. I promise I won't stay too much time, and please, we are helping to get more people able to bring new ideas and new vision. So my chair is available anytime if someone want to go ahead and take the witness. The other important point, of course, for the EACD is to promote this annual meeting. And this annual meeting has been very beautiful, really, for one of the main aim of us, which is promote education, novelties. 900 people attended. I'm sure they will bring from the lectures, the keynote lecture, from the mini symposium, from the poster. They will bring new ideas to their homework in their places in the different European and extra-European countries. And I would like to, you mentioned the keynotes, which are, of course, are very important, but I want to mention the mini symposium, but I want to mention especially the poster. I mean, you saw me passing through the poster. Every year I found better poster, more posters, poster with better quality. And that is really a very, very good sign, because posters are made by the young people, and the quality of the poster is really going up, really, which is very much encouraging what we are doing. Another important point for the vision of the EACD and for the coming year is the international alliance, having a global perspective. And you heard enough about that, I believe, this morning from Hans Borsberger, the group this morning, and now from the very nice words by Sarah. So you know that is really in our strategic plans to do more and more within that framework. That is very important. But it's the third things I want to mention, which is what we need to do for Europe. Because in Europe, we have really very, very difficult, important problems. There are many differences among the different countries in the way in which children are treated, children are rare, children with disability receive resources, receive treatment. We must be aware that is a critical problem, and it's becoming more and more critical because of two factors that I mentioned already. One is the economical crisis, the cut of resources, and not in all countries, but in some countries. And the other one are the refugees. So we will need to do more things. We have some baseline of data now to work. And this morning, finally, the first result was presented of the survey that we did, that we promised to do in Stockholm. And now, 1 year later, we have the data. There was a very important survey carried on by Karen on our behalf. And there were more than about 100 people answered, very important questions, and more than 700 parents. So we have a bunch of data coming from 30 countries. And the result that we have been presented this morning are really matter of worries. Matter of worries in terms of the impact on the family of austerity cuts, the cut of the services, many requests from family for advocacy, waiting time for consultation, worse working condition by the professional, less time for patients, more difficulty in access to therapy, many problems in many countries. So we need to, now we have to act. And GMC and the Academy will try to do things. First of all, do dissemination of this data. We hope that developmental medicine China neurology will publish current results. And from that, there will be really call for action, first to the national coordinator and then to the member, and we hope to do that. Few words about what is in addition to serious things, which has been social aspect. By social aspect, I mean talking during the coffee break with the people, and then those of you who had the chance to go to last night to the dinner was very, very good, and very good for social things, to see part of Amsterdam, a boat. We saw even a windmill. Windmill, everyone told all the energy for Amsterdam is from that windmill. Green energy, we have been told. I don't think so, but you have nuclear station. But another important point, during the meeting we started the new tradition which is the EACD official music band. Let me see if we can have the band. No band, sir. Why not? I mean, we need some good music at this time of the day. It works very well a few minutes ago. It doesn't work. I wonder whether, do you have your...
No.
Nothing to do. No. Nothing to do. It doesn't matter. Sabotage. There was a sabotage. But so we have the EACD official band, and they promised next year in Georgia they will be even more wonderful, and of course ask for some Italian opera parts. So last words, of course, are for Jules. Thank you very much, Jules, for what you have done, and the people of your crew. Really, you did a wonderful job. I mean, we liked it very much. I have one final complaining that came from my scene. last night. Let me see again. So you saw the president last night. Having seen that, now I'm suggesting a posteriori a change in the motto of this wonderful meeting, which maybe should be dancing into the future. And now the last words are for our continuity, our step, our dance to the next meeting. So please, Nana.
And Nana, I hand over the EACD flag to you. I'm free of the responsibility, and now you feel it on your shoulders.
Yes, I will.
So please tell us shortly some information about Tbilisi.
Yes, it was. Previous one was Tbilisi. You can open here and this IGM. Yes. Yes. And you will be here because if video don't work. Okay. Okay, thank you, Jules and Giovanni. And I welcome all of you on the next meeting. And together we are stronger. We now just joined Free Europe, so we have free entrance, and we hope that it is not only physical entrance, but we will share our ideas, our mentality, and our healthcare standards with Europe. And we hope that our meeting will show all diversity about which spoke Giovanni just recently. If you don't know, Georgia is located between the Black and Caspian Sea. It's a very nice country. What
are you looking for this summer?
I want to show why you will come to Georgia, except of
Breathtaking seashores. Modern infrastructure. Untamed nightlife. Wild nature. Divine relaxation. Exotic culture. Or maybe you want it all.
So you will come to Georgia. We have here our important days. I will not stop there. They are on the website. Also, we have quite a low registration fee, so I think it's acceptable for everybody to come. We have very interesting teams. I will not stop in details, but they include many interesting subjects in all fields of NATO disability. And also we will have very interactive working with workshop, ethical issues, controversies, which is a very interesting, I think, format for the discussions and different ideas. And also we'll have joint meetings with International Society of Early Intervention and with European Pediatric Neurology Society. So I hope that program will be good. Tbilisi is easily accessible, safe, and cheap country, and we have many flights from all Europe and different parts. And also we promise very good social program, with our cultural program with very nice and cradle of wine and unique, tasty, and cheap dishes. So Tbilisi also as Amsterdam loves you, and we welcome you next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Nana, and good luck with the preparation. I have some general announcement at the end. You will receive a digital evaluation form, and please be so kind to fill it in. A certificate of attendance will be sent after the conference to you by email. There is a take and grab lunch in the forum lounge. And I thank you for attending, and I wish you a safe trip home. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations. Wonderful.